Imagine sending out hundreds of job applications, finally getting called in for an interview and then failing because of just one unconvincing answer. It sounds painful, but this is the reality many candidates face, not because they lack intelligence, but because they simply don't know how to interview well. So today we are going to talk about why are interview skills so important. First, interview is more than just a question and answer session. It's an opportunity for the company to see you truly are, how you communicate, how you think, and how you carry yourself professionally. So for the reason number one is impressions are formed incredibly fast within just 30 or to 60 seconds. The interviews has already begun forming an initial judgment. The way you enter the room, greet them, sit down, and even the way you smile, all of it makes an impact. So interview skills begin even before you answer a single question. Reason number two, communication is everything. Companies want to know whether you can convey ideas clearly in a structured way. This skill matters in almost every field, whether technical or non-technical. You might have outstanding abilities, but if you can't communicate them effectively, so the HR will never know. Reason number three, interviews measure how you solve problem. Question like, what would you do if you had a very tight deadline, aren't just small talk. The interviewer want to see how you think under pressure. Strong interview skills help you answer calmly and with structure. And for the reason number four, cultural fit. HR isn't only looking for someone competent, they're also looking for someone fits the company's culture. Can you work in a team? Do you show leadership? Can you adapt quickly? The interview is your one and only chance to prove that in person. So interview skills aren't just about answering questions correctly, they're about convincing the company that you are the best candidate from the very first second you walk into the room to the very last word you say.
Type of job interview. Job interview can actually be classified into three main categories based on the interviewer, the place or media, and the format. 1. Based on the interviewer. First, we have the HR interview. This is usually your first impression moment. Here, HR doesn't just look at your skill, they want to know you as a person. They evaluate your personality, communication style, whether you fit the company culture. You will often hear questions like, why do you want to join our company? So remember, this stat is just not being about smart, but about being the right fit. Next is the user interview. This is where things get serious. You will meet your feature manager or team lead, and they will test your technical skill and real experience. They make ask about your past project, how you solve problem, and how do you work in a team. If you are student or fresh graduate, don't worry, you can use example from internship, class project, or even freelance work. Here they want to know, can you actually do the job? Then we have the panel interview. Imagine facing multiple interviewer at once. Yes, it can feel intimidating, but this format helps company get different perspective at the same time. To success, you should maintain a contact with everyone, style calm, and answer question clearly. This interview really tests your confidence under pressures. And the second one based on the place media. First, the face-to-face interview. This is the traditional one. You go directly to the company. Here, everything matters. your body language, eye contact, even your appearance. This is best the way for recruiter to see your confidence in the real life. Next is the online or virtual interview. This has become very popular today, and it's on a platform like Zoom or Google Meet. It saves time and allow company to hire from anywhere, but doesn't underestimate it. You still need good preparation, stable internet, proper lighting, and clean background. Because even online, first impressions still matter. And then there's the phone interview. Usually, the first screening stage. Since there's no visual interaction, your voice becomes your strongest tools. You need to speak clearly, confidently, and stay focused. This stage helps recruiter quickly decide who move to the next round. And the last one based on the format. The most common format is the one-on-one interview. Just you and one interviewer. This allows deeper conversation and more personal interaction. It's your chance to really tell your story. Then we have the group interview. Here, multiple candidates are interviewed together. Yes, you are not alone, but now you are also competing. Recruiter observe how you communicate, work in the team, and stand out among others. It's not just about answering questions, it's about how you behave. Finally, the technical or case interview. This is where your skills are tested directly. You might be asked to solve problem, analyze a case, and complete a task like coding or designing. This step is very common in fields like IT, business, and consulting. Here's is it's not just about the answer, but how you think.
In this part, I will explain about the stage of job interview so you know what will happen and how to be ready for each stage. The first stage is the opening. The interviewer will say hello and maybe ask a simple question like how are you or tell me about yourself. This is just to make you feel comfortable. But this is also your first impression. So be calm, smile, and be polite. The second stage is self introduction. You need to introduce yourself in a clear and a short way. Simple formula is your name, your education, your experience, your skill, and your goals. For example, my name is Muhammad Akmal Malik. I am a student. I am interested in project management. I have experience leading a team in a campus project. I want to grow as a professional in this company. Next is experience question. The interviewer will ask about what you have done before. A good way to answer this the start with the STAR method. STAR situation, task, action, and result. So, instead of just saying I work in a team, you say in my campus project, I lead the team. We divided the work and finished 2 days early. That is the STAR method. Stage 4 is strength and weakness. This is the little tricky. HR doesn't want a perfect answer. They want to see if you know yourself. For strength, be specific, like I'm persistent. When I have a problem in the project, I keep trying until I find a solution. For weakness, be honest, but also show improvement, like I sometimes procrastinate, but now I use daily task lists to stay on track. Stage 5 is HR will ask, do you have any question? Many people say no. I'm fine. That is a big mistake. Always prepare question. For example, What does success look like in this role? Or what tools does the team use? This show that you are really interested. The last stage is the closing. And with energy, you can say thank you very much for opportunity. I'm really excited to possibly join your team. Simple, but it leave a good impression. So, there are 6 stages for a job interview. Now you know what to expect and how to prepare.
Today we're talking about the part that makes everyone nervous, strengths and weakness. Why does HR ask this? Not to trap you. They want to see things self-awareness. How well do you really know yourself? Let's break it down. First, strengths. Don't say I'm hard worker and I'm a fast learner. Everyone say that HR is bored hearing it. You need proof. Here's the formula, skill, and example and result. For example, my great strength is problem solving. In my last internship, our reporting process was slow. I created a new template and automate some steps, and the result, we cut our reporting time by 30%. And C, specific measurable. HR love that. And now weakness. Never say I'm perfectionist, that's fake. HR see right through it. Be honest, but show what you're doing to fix it. A formula, a real weakness, and action plan. Example, I used struggle with public speaking. I know this was holding me back, so I started practicing in small team meeting and recording myself. Now I feel much more confident presenting to a group. That's honest and it show grow that what HR wants. Remember, the goal here is to build trust and show HR that your strength bring value and your weakness are things you're actively improving. Do that and you're not just another candidate, you're professional who know how to grow. That's it for strengths and weakness. Next video question you solved as the interview, and good luck.
In this segment, I will be explaining the most common interview questions and how to answer them. The first question that is almost always asked is, tell me about yourself. It trips people up because it sounds simple. Here's the secret though. They don't want your life story, they just want a 60-second highlight reel of why you are the right person for this job. Use the formula of past, present, and future. Like for example, I have a background field. I have background in this field where I spent X year doing a key thing. Most recently, I've been doing this current project, and I'm looking to bring that experience to a company like yours. Keep it under 90 seconds. Be confident and focus, and then done. The second question is usually, what's your greatest strength? Or what's your greatest weakness? If you get asked what's your greatest strength, you should pick one real strength and back it up with a quick example. Don't say, I'm a hard worker, because everyone says that. Say, I'm great at simplifying complex problems. For example, I once reduced a 40-step process down by 12 steps, or so on and so forth. If you get asked what's your greatest weakness, this one's a trap if you let it be. Pick a genuine weakness you've been actively working on. For example, I used to struggle with delegating tasks, but over the past year, I've been intentional about trusting my team, and it's made us more productive. Next, next question are the behavioral questions. For example, tell me about a time when X and X. These behavior-based questions uh, and they almost always start with tell me about the time when you X handled a conflict, for example, or failed at something, showed some leadership, work under pressure. For all these, use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. For situation, set the scene briefly. For the task segment, what was your current responsibility? For the action, what specifically did you do? And for the result, what happened? What numbers if you can? The key word is you, not we. Interviewers want to know your contribution, not your team's. Next questions are usually why this company or why this role. These questions reveal whether you've done your homework or whether you've just applied everywhere. Don't say I've always wanted to work here or it seems like a great opportunity. Do say something specific. Mention a recent product launch or a value that the company publicly holds or a challenge in this in the industry you want to work on. I've been following your work in X area, specifically because of Y initiative. I think my background in Z could help push that forward. I'd love to be a part of a team doing that kind of work. Remember, specificity equals credibility. Next questions are usually where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or what kind of salary do you want? Do you expect in this position? The 5 years questions are meaning they want to know your ambition and what you'll stick around and that you'll stick around, sorry. Tie your growth, goals, and things you want to achieve within the company. You don't need to have it all figured out just yet. Just show your directions. For example, I'd love to grow into a senior role in this company and eventually take on more leadership, strategy, technical depth, and I see this role as the right place to build towards that. And for the salary question, do your research beforehand. When asked, give a range, not a single number, and anchor the range a bit high so it gives you room to negotiate. For example, based on my research and experience, I'm targeting something in the range of X to Y, though I'm open to discussion for the full package. Uh, that is all for my segment, and thank you for listening.